Today, I'll be ranking the strongest clocks in the entire Skibidi fandom. We'll begin with some of the most underrated characters in the show, and by the end of the video, we will rank some of the most controversial battles so far. Are you Team Sinister or Team Clock Titan? How about Ethan compared to the future Clockman? Let's see if, by the end of the video, we'll be able to change your mind about some rankings. And yeah, no matter how we do this, we're still gonna have some people disagreeing with us. So, just to clarify, this video will cover both the Clock Agents as well as the Clock Titans. And since most of these guys on the list are still kinda mysterious, we'll be going with overall potential here, together with their shown feats. So without wasting any more time, let's begin. For the positions of 10th and 9th place, we've got two candidates. As usual, the Clockwoman and Aiza. Both of these clocks are definitely not the combat type. So yeah, let's go over what else they can bring to the table. The Clockwoman is among the OGs, and her abilities are pretty basic. She has the time gun, which could hold even Titans in place. She can reverse time, restoring certain characters to full health. And for the most bizarre, she can buff other characters, giving them super speed. Based on all this, it's safe to say the Clockwoman is the support type. But Aiza, on the other hand, hasn't shown us much. She only has the ability to manipulate people's choices, and that's pretty much it. She isn't built for combat either. And with everything laid out, the Clockwoman takes the 9th spot while Aiza gets 10th. As for number 8, that's where things start to get complicated. The zombie future Clockman. Now, from what we've seen, Bro hasn't displayed any time powers just yet, but this guy really knows how to get the job done. He casually flexed on the Anomaly TV Titan, ripping him apart just from his sheer strength alone. And don't forget, this same mutant held his own against Camp Prime. And here, our zombie clock wasn't even going all out. Basically, he's my kind of clock, the show-off and all that stuff. The zombie future Clockman hasn't shown us much yet, but due to the massive amount of potential he has, I'm placing him at the 8th spot. Number 7, we've got the Clock Titan from Monster Up. Now a true monster just stepped in and damn, where do I even start? This guy is a very unique one and has a super cool design, using more of tech and weapons to utilize his time powers unlike the rest. So, he's got a few limitations, but that doesn't make him weak in any way. When it comes to throwing hands, this clock is a natural. He was able to bully the zombie camera and even managed to uninfect him. He even restored Jimmy back to full health. But when it comes to weapons, things get even more interesting. He's got that massive axe for cutting down stuff, and even future sight gets thrown into the mix, giving this Titan Clockman the ability to predict his enemy's movements 2 seconds into the future. He's got the self-reversal, which is an ability similar to the future Clockman, but he uses tech instead to do his stuff. The only downside is the dual time capsules, which contain the energy allowing him to use his time powers, meaning if he runs out of juice mid-fight, it's pretty much over. Aside from this, he's a very well-rounded clock and could have been placed a lot higher. For the 6th and 5th spots, only 2 characters come to mind, the future Clockman and Ethan. On the surface, you might think Ethan should be placed higher, seeing as he's from the strongest universe and all that. But that might not be the case here, because in my opinion, the future Clockman is quite broken. I mean, he was able to fight alongside the Clock Titan in his battle against Sinister, and even managed to throw in a couple of attacks. The future Clockman took on the Commander, and what can I say? It was one hell of a fight. He has up to 5 levels of time stop, and his abilities just keep getting better. With energy cloning, the future Clockman can form multiple energy clones of himself, using them to create time bubbles and freeze enemies in time. But that's only the tip of the iceberg. He's got instant acceleration, which is pretty much understandable, as it grants him outstanding speed. He can even travel through time. And yeah, Dom just had to add in mind control as well. Honestly, this guy is just too strong as of right now. But Ethan, on the other hand, is also quite good. I'll give him that. He might just be a better version of our future Clockman, but since most of his abilities are still unknown, we're just going to be scratching the surface here. He was able to keep up with the future Clockman in terms of fighting skill, and that should really count for something. Just like future Clockman, Ethan can also create clock energy clones of himself, which he used to restrain our future Clockman and the rest in episode 47. But that's not all, as this guy also has the ability to mind control others, which is completely nuts when you realize it could even work on the future Clockman. But I think his original ability is the hologram he controls. From all this, it kind of feels like Ethan is just a better version of our future Clockman. So the power difference wouldn't be too far apart. just like we saw in their recent fight. But I'll have to give the future Clockman the 6th place while Ethan takes 5th. At number 4, we've got Clockwise. You see, this one is really good. Just like all Clock Titans, he's got time manipulation abilities. He was able to take on the Sinister, which sadly happened to be his only feat. But from the little time he got, that was enough to give us an idea of how strong he really is. He could counter the Sinister's time stop ability, meaning he's kinda close to our Clock Titan, or even better. Clockwise wields a weapon, the Blade of Orion, which is similar to the golden Excalibur of Titan Clockman. Currently, this blade possesses only one confirmed ability, which is portal creation, sending allies far from harm. He also has the energy barrier, which was strong enough to withstand the Sinister's devastating attack. And seeing as he's part of the Transformer Titans, he should have some sort of transformation of his own. But that's only speculation at this point. Clockwise is one of those characters with extreme potential, but had little time on their hands. Regardless, he's not one to be joked with. My boy even has 10-level time stop immunity, so if Sinister tries anything funny, he'd be safe. Not to mention the amount of experience Clockwise seems to have, placing him rightfully at 4th place. And now we head on to one of the most highly debatable rankings in today's video. Who do you think is stronger, the Clock Titan or Sinister? Well, here's what I think. For number 3, the Clock Titan walks in. You see, this guy is the original Clock Titan. His time powers are as crazy as they get. I mean, he was able to restore 4 Titans back to full health, which is just crazy. To be honest, this guy is a natural. Even from his first showing alone, we could tell he wasn't playing games. The Clock Titan has crazy experience in fighting as well as time manipulation. He can buff himself and even do the same to other Titans. He was able to create a time dome, and his speed is almost godlike. With his boosted dashing, this clock can move at extremely high speeds and almost instantaneously travel to a different location. He has time stop and even time reversal. But to top it all off, he's got the infinite boost, a newly awakened ability, which grants our guy extraordinary speed and agility. With this power, he can slice through his enemies and even trigger a city-level explosion. But all this is to prepare us for his upcoming battle. I mean, right now he's already goated, but what happens when a monster like this gets hold of the Astral Sword and even gets buffed to a mysterious amount? Well, that gives me chills just thinking about it. But on the other side of the ring is Sinister himself, a beast. Now, it's obvious that this guy's abilities are pretty much out there already, and if being broken were a person, it's definitely this guy. He has up to 10 levels of time stop, which is the highest we've seen amongst all clocks. He was able to ragdoll our Clock Titan in their first showdown. And what can I say? It was pretty convincing about their power difference, but all we saw was just the tip of the iceberg. Sinister has illusions, and that has been a major part of his fighting style. He was able to drop Clockwise in a single shot, danced around the rest of the Transformer Titans effortlessly, and still walked out without a single scratch. Yeah, this guy is just built different. But here's where things take a dark turn, cause bro happens to have the time nuke, a weapon of mass destruction. I mean, a threat to the entire multiverse kind of stuff, all of which he possesses in his arsenal. Based on all this, do you still think the Time God stands a chance? Well, there's only one way to find out. But until then, the Clock Titan is at 3rd place, while Sinister takes number 2. Honorable mentions go to characters like the Chief Clockman and Mr. Clock, because these guys' true abilities are one big mystery in itself. However, the strongest Clock Titan in all of Skibidi Fandom is the Champion Clock. Check out this video to see what happens if Sinister invaded the Skibidi Wars series.